from there is that, number one, in assessing divine visitation, we must understand that God's ways are not our ways. Number one, God's ways are not our ways. God's ways are not our ways. Isaiah 55, verse 8 to 9, Message translation. Isaiah 55, verse 8 to 9, the Message translation. Look at what scripture says. I don't think the way you think. The way you walk is not the way I walk. God's decree. For as the sky soars high above earth, so the way I walk surpasses the way you walk. And the way I think is beyond the way you think. We don't reason alike. Many times I've realized that in praying for divine visitation encounter, you box God. You box God through your thinking. You box God in the way you want to see Him. You box God in the way you need Him to help you. You pray and say, God, I need help. I need help. God, I want to marry well. God, let me tell you something. One day, somebody was with me. And she said to me, she said, Ma, God has never visited me. Never. I don't know what it is to experience encounter with Him. I don't know. I was listening to her like, really? God has him. Do you hear from God? She said, yes. I said, why do you think God has not visited you? She said, I've been praying for a man that I want to marry. And the person I have is someone that will be big, someone that is wealthy, working in so-and-so organization. But the guy that I'm hearing from God is a different thing. I said, but you just said God has not visited you. She said, the person that I'm hearing, that God is telling me to marry, it doesn't look like what I really have in mind. That in fact, God is not hearing her. God has not answered her. And I'm like, from her story, or what she was sharing me, I realized that this is the case of many persons. What you pray, you have an imagination of how you want Him to answer you. And many times when He visits you, you don't even know He has visited you because you box Him. Because you have a wrong interpretation of what encounter really means to you. You have a wrong interpretation of how you want to see Him. God is saying something. God is doing something in your life, but you are seeing a different thing. So He's not answering you. You have not experienced anything. Some people who feel they've not heard Him. Because there's a how they want to see. There's a how they perceive encounter. So His ways are not our ways. The way He thinks is different from how we think. I remember one day from this story, I can relate with the widow of Zarephath. This was a lady who was looking for help, and Elijah was coming to ask for help. I could relate with it. I remember years ago, about 10 or 11 years ago, I can't remember which particular year, about first or second year marriage. Things were really bad for us. Like, we were so financially low, it was so bad at the point we were in debt. And I remember praying one day, I was praying seriously. I'm like, God, we need help. I am tired of this situation. I was praying. And somehow, I fell into a trance. And He said, there's something precious I need to give out. And I'm like, how? That was the instruction I got. Fast forward, I came to church that day. My husband was the one who ministered. After I was finished ministering, the Lord was hitting on me and He said, drop your phone. At that time, at that year, the only thing that looked like riches, the only thing that looked expensive that I reverend had was the phone. And mine's no words. The only thing that looked like you have money. You know, there's a way you carry something. Your clothes may not speak money, but there's another thing that can. You just say, okay, this person, they try. The only thing that looked like we had something, we had money, was the phone. And He said, drop it. I couldn't relate. I couldn't understand it. This is me praying for a shift. And the only thing that looks like at least there's, you said, drop it. He said I should drop it, and I dropped it. I whispered to Reverend, I told him what I was hearing. I said, okay. It was painful, but I dropped it. It wasn't connected to the prayer, but I didn't know that through that instruction, something was about to transition. What am I trying to say? Many times you will pray, Lord, visit me. I want to experience an encounter. And He's giving you specific things that you need to do. That is an encounter. It may not come in the way you are reasoning it. It may not come in the way you are interpreting it. It may not come in the way you are imagining it. But that is what He's saying He should do. Because God's ways are not our ways. God's ways are not our ways. You don't understand where the end will be. Let me tell you, every time God thinks and tells you to do and you encounter Him, He thinks the end, but you are at the beginning. He comes from the end. How is it possible that Lazarus, a very close friend to Jesus, do you realize that Jesus heard that Lazarus was sick? He heard. He didn't come. He stayed. He remained where he was. After Lazarus had died, that was when He showed up. Because let me tell you, a visitation is for a purpose. A visitation is for a mission. A visitation is for a reason. So many times you are already thinking like, what kind of thing is this? What are you telling me to do? Why am I encountering you in this way? You are there thinking you're already at the beginning. God has gone. He's at the end. He has seen the beginning, has passed that point. He has gone to the end. So He's speaking from the end because He knows the beginning and the end. When He told Abraham, go to a place that I will show you. Not knowing how, not knowing where. It's possible that Abraham was just praying. He was probably praying for a child. The other things you might be praying for and God is saying something. It doesn't sync. There is no connection. And that's why He's God. Every time you like to humanly interpret what the world, how an encounter should occur, you will miss out on a divine connection. Every time you want to humanly interpret how an encounter should occur, you will actually miss out on a divine connection. Number 2. Sorry, before I get there. That's what I was saying. God's ways are not our ways. She arose, he came to the gate of the city. Behold, the woman was gathering sticks. Then he called to her, please bring me a little water in a cup, that I may drink. Listen, give me a little water. She was already tired, remember. I can imagine how tense the woman was, everything. So give me a little water to drink. A little water in a cup that I may drink. As she was going to get it, he called her again. He said, bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. The lady said, I do not have bread. Only a handful, that is not up to a kilo, of flour in a bin and a little oil in a jar. And I'm gathering the last sticks that I may go in and prepare for myself so that we may die after eating. Elijah said something. He said, do not fear. Go and do. Fast forward. Says the Lord God of Israel, the bin of lettuce. No, before he went there, he said, go and prepare it for me first. One of the things I have realized is that there is an orderliness when you experience an encounter. You are the one that doesn't just understand the arrangement of things. You are the one that doesn't understand what God is trying to bring out. Because why? Your thinking cannot correlate with His thoughts. He sees and he thinks differently. Number 2, be hospitable, be kind. One of the keys to accessing divine visitation is to be kind. And I'm not saying be kind or hospitable in your plenty. Be kind in your little. When you need help, show help. When you need help, show help. When you are begging, praying for kindness, you are praying to receive something from God. Give from the little that you have is a key. She was tired. She was at a point where she should give up. point where she had already given up, like she was going to die after she had eaten her very last. She didn't understand Elijah's mission. She didn't know whether Elijah had an instruction for her. Elijah came forth and told her, said, give me a little water to drink. A little cup of water to drink. Because naturally, probably because she was kind, she offered kindness without understanding. She offered kindness even in her inconvenience. She offered kindness in her little, not in much. You know, sometimes it's easier to give from your comfort than when you are not comfortable. Even some people say, even when they are comfortable, they don't even give. But I'm saying it's easier because she probably would have reacted and said, what rubbish. I'm here having the very last to feed myself and my son. I don't even know I don't know what tomorrow holds. I'm not even thinking of tomorrow because I've told myself that after this one we are done. And you are now asking for a little cup of water. He didn't even stop there. He said, go and bake. Give me from it first. She offered kindness. She offered kindness. Proverbs 11 verse 17, Message translation. It says, when you are kind to others, you help yourself. Proverbs 11 verse 17, Message translation. Message translation. It says, when you are kind to others, you help yourself. Let's see it in TPT, the Passion Translation. The Passion Translation. It says, a man of kindness attracts favor. A man of kindness attracts favor. There is a stirring, there's a drawing when you are kind. It may be like you are so much, you may even have debt. Your situation is not pleasant. But even at that, be hospitable. Because why? There's an account that is built up in the spirit realm. You don't know. She didn't know. She had no idea. The same thing happened to Rebecca. Remember? She had no idea that the elder servant was coming on a mission. It was stressful at that point in time to draw water from the well. But he asked for water and asked for about 10 camels. She gave it. When you are kind, you attract favor. It didn't say a man of kindness in little. It says a man of kindness attracts favor. So it didn't say a man of kindness in plenty. A man of kindness attracts favor. We don't want to know whether you have storms or not. Be kind. Be kind through the storms. Be kind through the circumstance. Because you don't know what you are drawing. A man of kindness attracts favor. Look at Colossians 3 verse 12, Message translation. Colossians 3 verse 12, Message translation. It says, so chosen by God for this new life of love, dress in the wardrobe God picked out for you. What is the wardrobe? Compassion, kindness. You can have every other thing in your wardrobe, but you see these cloths. The cloth of kindness, you must wear it. New King James says, put on the elect of God. Compassion, kindness. That is, whether it is convenient or not, you don't wear it today and drop it. It's part of your wardrobe. You don't wear it today and drop it. It is every day. It is put on. You are the elect of God. You are chosen of God. Holy and beloved, put on. Wear it. Whether you like it or not, you need to wear it. It's a dress code for the chosen of God. You are praying to God for help. Help others. Show help in your little. Look at something very interesting that happened when the angels visited Abraham. They came in and Abraham met them at the tent. Time will not permit me to read it. Genesis 18 verse 1 to 10. They were sitting in the tent door in the heat of the day. And Abraham saw 3 men standing. He offered them help. He showed kindness. He says, do not pass by your servants, please. Let a little water be brought and wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. What next did Abraham do? He quickly went to Sarah. He said, Sarah, hurry, prepare a fine meal for them. Neat cakes and all of that. He went to get a good calf, a cow, to prepare a meal to offer to them. Because see, when you are warm to others, you draw favor. And look at something very interesting. They did not ask of Sarah. They did not drop any prophetic words. When the food, let's look at it. Verse 9. Go to verse 9 very quickly. Verse 8. Verse 8. He took butter. This was Abraham. He took butter, milk, and the calf which he had prepared and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree as they ate. He presented food. Then they said to him, where is Sarah your wife? They have not said anything yet. After they had eaten, kindness attracts. Then they said to him, where is Sarah your wife? So he said, here in the tents. And he said, I will certainly return to you according to the time of life. And behold, Sarah your wife shall have a son. They didn't say anything. Nothing was said until they had eaten. There is something hospitality does to a man. There's something hospitality does to a prophet. There's something hospitality does to a priest. There is something kindness does to a priest. Show kindness in your little way to the people and also show kindness to the people who are God's servants. You do not know what you are drawing onto yourself. You know, there's a way you do good to someone, like you bless the person, you do good. You don't need to tell the person to pray for you. You're already on automatic prayer points. These things are natural laws. They're supernatural laws. That is what it is. Even come to the secular world, there's a way you respect your boss. You're always there, filling the gap. Even when you're not due, you feel like don't be fluent. Don't know anything in that office. You are in the promotion list. How much more in the supernatural, in Christian law? When you offer that kind of warmth, you don't need to say, pray for me, please pray for me. You are a prayer point. It's automatic. Person will be calling your name. Kindness, honor, respect is a key for divine visitation. It draws favor. It draws favor. It draws help. You don't need to. Have you ever gone on the road, even someone that doesn't even know you, and you just give help the person or something? The person already praying. You haven't gone and say, no, you don't do. It's okay. The person is still praying for you. I tell you, even when you leave that spot, you are still a prayer point. I was asking one of my mentors one day. I said, why do you do things that you do? Like it looks like everything, like you literally like give out your funds, like you distribute, you pay people school fees, you do all. He said to me, he said, even when I am weak to pray, I know people are praying for me. Imagine I'm paying hundreds of people's school fees. The hundreds are praying. You know why? They cannot even afford that my resources should go down because they know that they are connected to it, so they will pray for me. When you need help, you want Ebenezer to show up, help people. He said, imagine hundreds of people are gathering. Everywhere they are praying for me. Even if they say it is well with him, it will be surely well. Because he draws it. There was a lady, one of the persons he pays school fees. The mother will call and tell him, I am not only praying for you, I'm fasting for you. Why? Because she knows that her child's level, university, is connected to the man. principles.